Hello, welcome to the 1.3a video. Today, I'm going to show you how to um, do a couple of different things with quantitative data. We've learned how to display them in a dot plot, histogram, a stem plot. Today, I'm going to show you how to describe them numerically, and also how to display them in what's called a box plot. So the first thing I want to do is teach you maybe something you know how to do already, which is calculate the mean and how to calculate the median. So one thing to know about when we're calculating the mean, another word for the mean that you're going to see in statistics is X bar. X bar is just another way of saying the average. But in this case, X bar is going to be from a sample. We'll talk about that later in the semester. So it's the average of all the observations. And an observation is just an individual or a numerical value from your data set. Next, I'll show you how to calculate the median. And really the common mistake that people make with the median is they forget to arrange the observations from smallest to largest. Don't forget that's the first thing you have to do. And a couple of notes about median is if n is odd, so if there's an odd number of observations, then the median is going to be the center. If there is an even number, then it's going to be the average of the middle two in the ordered list. So let's take a look at a practice problem to work through these together. This is a data set from a game I used to play in class called the memory game, where my students are in one of two groups. They're in the visual group or the listening group, and they have to try and remember answers to questions. You don't need to know the context that really, we're just going to work with the numbers here. So the visual group visualized, the listening group just listened, and then we recorded who remembered more answers, basically. So they ask us to find the mean and they ask us to find the median. To find the mean, obviously, you can just add all these values together and then divide by however many there are. And in the first group, in the visual group, I should say, there are 12 students. And in the listening group, there are only 11 students. That'll be helpful for us when we're calculating the median. But I want to show you how to find the mean on your calculator. So I'm going to share my screen with my calculator here. So on your calculator, you're going to hit Stat, and you're going to hit Enter to edit your lists. You can see I have two values in my list. I need to go up and hit Clear on my list, not Delete. If I hit Delete, then I'll delete the entire list. So let's type in the visual group into list 1 and the list into list 2. So I had 6. Okay, you can see that I'm on the blank space that says 13. So there are 12 values here, so I know I've entered the right values. From the listening group, I'm going to put those numbers in now. There we go. So you can see I'm in the 12 space, so there are 11 values there. So to calculate the mean, without just adding them up and dividing by the total, if you hit Stat and scroll over to Calculate, we want to calculate the one variable statistics for list 1, is where we put the visual group. So I'll hit Enter, and you can see the mean is 14.16. And I'll probably round that up to 17. So X bar, the mean, is 14.17. Now I can do the same thing for list 2. Stat, calculate, one variable statistics. If I hit second 2, it'll put list 2 in there. My frequency list should be blank because there is no frequency list. And so my mean, or X bar, is 12.55. For my listening group. Now I want to show you on the by hand how to find the median, and then I'll show you how to do it on the calculator as well. So the median, the first step is to put everything in order from smallest to largest. Since I care, I put them in order already for you, so you don't have to redo it. So if there are 12 in this first data set, then I will know it's an even number. It will be the average of the middle two. So that should be the 6th and the 7th values. So 14 and 15. And then you can always count and make sure that it's even on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above. So I've got the middle two. So the median is going to be the average of those two, which is going to be 14.5. And the median of the listening group, remember I have 11 in that set, so it will be one value. There will be 5 below and 5 above. And in that case, the 5th or the 6th value is 13. So the median is just going to be that value 13. And again, you can count, make sure there are 5 below and 5 above, so you're certain that it's the middle. Now the mean and the median are both measures of center. We've talked about describing distributions, describing the center. Now you have two values. Use the median or use the mean to describe the center. I want to show you very quickly how to do this on your calculator. On the calculator, we're going to do, honestly, the exact same thing. Hit stat and make lists are the values that you want. They're still the same from before. Hit stat, calculate one variable statistics. Let's do list 1 first for the visual group. Calculate, and if I just scroll down, it's going to show me the median is 14.5, which is what we had before. And then let's do the same thing for list 2. Second, oops, I hit alpha. Second 2 for list 2. Calculate one variable statistics. There it is. The median is 13. Now take a note of minimum, Q1, Q3, and max, because we're going to talk about that in a few minutes here. So the next question is, how do I know when to use the median? How do I know when to use the mean? And it's really a simple answer. The second standard, choose the appropriate measure of center and spread. I'll talk about spread later. The median is resistant to outliers and the mean is not resistant to outliers. So basically, if the distribution is symmetric like this one and there's no outliers, then the mean is going to be the best measure of center because it's not resistant to outliers. If the distribution is skewed like this one here, then you can see in this graph the mean is actually higher than the median. And the median is more, it's located in where most of the data is. And when we're talking about center, we want to be where most of the data is. So the median is always the best measure of center if the distribution is skewed, because the mean takes into account the value of each observation. The median is only measuring the location of the data. So think about this. If we go back to this problem here, and I add in 50, or I'll tell you what, let's do even bigger. If I add in a value of 100, think about how much the mean is going to change. This 100 is going to pull that mean or X bar up way higher than 12.5. But the median is only going to change. Now we have 12 values in the data set rather than 11, so it's going to be the average of these middle two. So the median is still going to be 13. It doesn't change at all because it's resistant to this outlier. It only measures a location in the data set. So in conclusion, if it's skewed or has outliers, the median is the best measure of center. If it's symmetric and no outliers, the mean is the best measure of center.